In the summer of 370 BC, following Thebes' stunning victory at Leuctra, which ended Spartan hegemony, Theban General Epaminondas aimed to solidify his city-state's newfound dominance. He led a campaign into the Peloponnese, establishing the Arcadian League and founding the city of Megalopolis as a counterbalance to Sparta. Thebes also inflicted severe damage on Sparta by liberating Messenia, a region that had long supported Spartan military power. While Epaminondas focused on the south, his ally Pelopidas worked to extend Theban influence in the north. Despite some setbacks, including a notable defeat of Pelopidas and his death while suppressing a revolt in Thessaly, his efforts included securing hostages, among them the young Philip of Macedon, who came to admire Theban governance. As years passed, Thebes struggled to maintain its dominance amid rising opposition. The Mantinean city-state, once a member of the Arcadian League, revolted and began rallying support from Achaea, Elis, Sparta, and even Athens. The Mantinean revolt posed the most significant threat to Theban hegemony since its establishment. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Epaminondas mobilized a substantial army to address the revolt and reaffirm Theban control. The impending clash promised to be a decisive confrontation in the ongoing struggle for Greek supremacy. The two armies that faced each other at the Battle of Mantinea were a reflection of Greece's divided power structure. On one side stood the Theban-led coalition commanded by the brilliant Epaminondas. The Boeotian League, numbering approximately 30,000 soldiers, was reinforced by contingents from Euboea, Argos, Messenia, and Thessaly. This diverse alliance allowed Epaminondas to field a well-rounded army, including a core of heavily armed hoplites and skilled Thessalian cavalry. Opposing them was a coalition of city-states, numbering around 20,000 troops, including soldiers from Sparta, Mantinea, Elis, and Athens. Though smaller than in previous years, the Spartan contingent was still formidable, consisting of the disciplined hoplite corps that had made Sparta legendary. The Athenians, known for their skilled hoplites and cavalry, added both numbers and expertise to the Allied forces. The Allied forces scrambled to form their defensive lines, their 20,000 soldiers positioning themselves between the hills. The Theban army, 30,000 strong, stood in silence, awaiting their commander's orders. Epaminondas, ever the tactician, understood the value of misdirection. He ordered his troops to march westward toward the hills, signaling an apparent retreat. The aim was simple: to lull the enemy into lowering their guard. As the Thebans moved away, the Mantineans and their allies relaxed, some even putting down their weapons. It was a dangerous moment, but Epaminondas knew it was his only chance to break the enemy's resolve. As the enemy lowered their guard, Epaminondas seized the opportunity. With the sharp command of a master strategist, he pivoted his forces back into position. His left flank, heavily reinforced, advanced with a force and purpose that had become his trademark. This was the same tactic he had used at Leuctra, and it was now being unleashed once more. The impact was devastating. The left wing of the Theban army charged the Mantinean right flank with all the force of a battering ram. The Mantineans, already unprepared, buckled under the pressure. Shields splintered, spears shattered, and the Mantinean line began to crumble. Unable to withstand the crushing pressure, they were forced to retreat. The battle shifted quickly from a tense standoff to a full-scale rout. Meanwhile, the allied left, comprising the Spartans, Athenians, and Eleans, remained hesitant. Despite their advantageous position, they were paralyzed by the shock of the initial onslaught. The opportunity to press forward against the weaker Boeotian center was lost, and the result was a one-sided affair, with the Mantinean right wing breaking apart under the relentless force of the Theban assault. To the east, Theban and Athenian cavalry clashed in brief, violent skirmishes, but it was the main offensive on the left that dictated the battle's outcome. As the enemy scattered in retreat, victory seemed inevitable for the Thebans. But in the heat of pursuit, fate dealt a cruel blow. Leading his men in the chase, Epaminondas was struck by a spear. The blow was fatal, and the general fell to the ground, his life slipping away as the battlefield shifted beneath him. His death was a crushing blow to Thebes, both in terms of leadership and morale. Epaminondas, the brilliant architect of Theban supremacy, was gone. His army, though victorious, now faced the loss of their greatest leader at the height of their triumph. His final breath marked the beginning of a painful and uncertain future for Thebes. With the death of Epaminondas, Thebes lost the one man who could hold the fractured coalition together and steer the city-state toward continued greatness. The victory, bitter in its own right, seemed hollow as Theban soldiers realized that their general was gone. In the immediate aftermath, Thebes' position in Greece was weakened. While the death of Epaminondas did not lead to a direct transfer of power to any other city-state, it opened the door for a new era of fragmentation and uncertainty. Sparta was still reeling from its losses and could not immediately reclaim its former power. Athens, though influential, lacked the strength to impose its dominance over Greece. Mantinea, though victorious, found itself struggling to maintain the cohesion of its coalition. At the same time, the broader geopolitical ramifications of the battle extended beyond Greece's borders. While Greece's major powers lay fragmented and weary, the Persian Empire under King Artaxerxes looked on with quiet satisfaction. The continued disunity among the Greek city-states allowed Persia to maintain its influence over the region, keeping the Greek world divided and weakened. But even as Greece faltered, a new force was quietly rising in the north. The young Philip of Macedon, once a hostage in Thebes, had watched the rise and fall of Theban power. With the death of his brothers, he ascended to the throne of Macedon, bringing with him a new vision, one that would ultimately reshape the entire Greek world. In the years that followed, Philip would use the lessons learned from the failure of the Greek city-states to forge an empire that would stretch across the known world. The Battle of Mantinea may have been a victory for Thebes, but its true impact was far more profound. It signaled the end of one era and the dawn of another, as the Greek world, fractured and divided, looked toward a new power rising on the horizon.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative historical cinematic battles. Make sure to subscribe and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.